Well, just coming off the back of recording the Incensed podcast, episode 158. Good evening, hello, and welcome everybody. I hope you're good. And we've got some bad news, I think it is, regarding Sinnoh, and it comes from an article that just popped up on socials today. It's from .esports, as you can see, Arceus there on the headline. And the headline is, Pokemon Go will give Arceus a Manaphy dedicated space to debut outside of Go Tour Sinnoh. So this article has popped up, we've got funky adverts, etc. No matter, Go Tour Sinnoh is nearly here, and Niantic always has a few hidden bonuses for players to unlock during big events. This time, however, it won't include key elements of the region it's based on, namely Arceus. Go Tour Sinnoh Los Angeles, the in-person part of this year's event, will run from February the 16th to the 18th. That's LA, we're going to be there. This will feature nearly every Pokemon from the Gen 4 games. Origin form Palkia and Dialga will also make their first appearance outside of Pokemon Legends Arceus, the video game, through special raids. Arceus itself isn't going to be making an appearance, though. And there's actually a direct quote in here, we'll get to that shortly. So, in a statement from Pokemon Go Live events team, .esports learned Niantic has made no plans of including Arceus, Manaphy or Phione. Those are the only remaining Pokédex missing entries for Sinnoh. Despite them being some of the only Pokemon Gen 4 is missing in the game, according to the team, they are more focused on giving each Pokemon a space to shine without being bundled into something else. All three of these Pokemon are indeed extra special. We wanted to give them some dedicated space when they eventually make their Pokemon Go debut, a Pokemon Go spokesperson said. This wording suggests that Niantic didn't want to overload Go Tour Sinnoh with too much featured content when Origin form Palkia and Dialga are the new headliners. It also lines up with the company's unusual strategy of stretching out new Pokemon releases, especially important ones like legendary and mythical Pokemon across as many different events as possible. Arceus is one of the most important Pokemon not present in Pokemon Go, but considering this season is called Timeless Travels, and we don't know anything yet about Pokemon Go Fest 2024, just yet, there's a chance we could see the literal god of Pokemon appear soon, potentially with Manaphy and Phione in tow. That is the article, folks, and I'm just doing a quick little thing to put it up onto the channel here to say, I personally think that kind of cements the issue with the tour events, is that they were really good at it. They were meant to complete the generation. If you played them and bought the ticket, Kanto Tour, Johto Tour, then Hoenn took a different direction with a live event, but you unlocked everything, and then you could unlock everything through the global Hoenn Tour the week after, but it wasn't quite as an insane event as the live one, which I think is the right way to do it potentially, because live event is much more monetary value. You go, you travel there, it costs a lot more. You should get a bit more really compared to a free event. This means that for the fourth Go Tour year, we're not going to be able to get the Platinum Badge if you play the event, no matter what money you spend on buying tickets. And this information is dropping literally 4-5 days before the event starts. And that's, in my view, the shadiest bit of it, is if they're going to drop information in drips and drabs, absolutely fine. But if you're not going to include the key missing Pokemon for the region, for the event, that should be outlined right at the start, because that will dictate potentially a lot of people's sway on if they're going to buy a ticket add-on, if they're going to gift the ticket to somebody, if they're going to spend north of $2,000 going to the IRL location. And trust me, if I see somebody from Niantic, I'll be making my point of view perfectly clear in a very civilised, constructive manner. I assure you of that, because I think that's a crying shame, and they could have done it in a interesting way, maybe dropping Arceus in elite raids at 6 PM at the end of each of the days, Saturday and Sunday for LA, and then maybe for the global, and then afterwards it's in elite raids going forwards, once a month or something like that. There's a different strategy. Or they could do a special research that literally requires you to catch 1,000 Pokemon of each typing and do all kinds of stuff to do with the Sinnoh Tour, and the Sinnoh region Pokemon as a whole. That means that you have to complete it over 6 months. You can give a Pokemon a spotlight, but leaving Arceus, Manaphy and Fione out of Sinnoh Tour is a devastating mistake, I think, and it really means that I think many people will be skipping on Unova Tour if that comes out. Just imagine for a moment, I think Ian said this was we were just jumping off the podcast debrief. Imagine there's no Unova Tour next year. It's Sinnoh Tour Part 2. And I think Niantic are dragging out things with the game so much that it's going to bleed them dry before we even get to the end of the Pokemon available to add. So, little news drop for you all. I hope you're all good. Again, I will see many of you out in LA. I'm very much looking forward to it, but that is a real shame that Arceus will not be a part of Sinnoh Tour. So, there we go, folks. Till the next time, do take care.